Starting our small program on market views starting first week of December. We have to understand that there are too many, sorry, there are too many disturbances in the macro environment, starting from India. The demonetization program and the remonetization at the same time has not been a very easy experience for the government. It has led to public outrage in very many cases. The opposition parties are trying to get a political mileage out of this, notwithstanding how good it is or how bad it is. Anything or any policy which is made by the government or whoever makes it is subject to criticism, both constructive and destructive. We are into a kind of destructive criticism by various people, though the public, it seems, that is viewing this under a constructive criticism. And I salute to the people of India for still being able to be patient, showing patience, and likely to show the same unless some disaster happens. But what it has happened is the cash circulation has slowed down heavily. Whatever cash people have in their hand, they are slow into disbursing the same unless of extreme necessity, fearing that if the cash balance is low and if the government cannot supply cash in future to the extent required, they will have to fall back upon the cash which they have in their hand. There is a disturbance into the PMI manufacturing index which got published on last Thursday, showing destabilization in growth. There are opinions which are being made saying that contraction in GDP is going to be there, and that is the fear the market has at this point of time. The November sales of auto does not show that the contraction is real. Maruti had a growth of 12% over October, which is a bit astonishing. I would like to state that this growth was mainly created by accepting old notes with backdated bills prior to 8th November, and the dealers managed a sales growth. So the market will not take this growth in the right frame of mind. So we'll have to wait for December figures. The fact that SME sector business is being down, and as I said that the money circulation now being on a slower pace will further aggravate the situation. In midst of this, there is a hope that there will be a rate cut come 7th of December from the RBI policy meet. If there is a cut, it's not going to be aggressive. I could also extend my thought to saying that there will be no cut for very simple logic, that the money in supply, the banking system, has exceeded certain benchmark figures by which rate cut may not happen. Then we have a referendum of the Italy going out of Eurozone, and the implication of the same not being very large, but would definitely affect the German banking system. And so we may have a weak global Q at some point of time, which is also playing the minds of the Indian market. We have a strong dollar, but the dollar rupee parity, after a huge weakness, is showing some kind of showing some kind of strength. Should it trade below 68.20, the strength will enhance, which anyway is positive for the equity market. But all of a sudden we have a opaque oil output cut, which now many experts believe that oil could reach to $60 a barrel, which could be a double whammy for Indian imports in terms of higher crude price and weak currency. So market to that extent will worry about the fiscal deficit going forward. In the midst of all this, you have the Fed in December presumably hiking interest rates, which always had been a demon for any market, whether it be in India or elsewhere. But the surprising part of the entire story is that Nifty did manage to move above 200 days moving average for 2 consecutive days and failed miserably through a gap down on last Friday. Bank Nifty, on the other hand, touched the 200 DMA and was very quick to retreat, which means one section of the bears who were short in the market would have reinstated their position by the last weekend. So the bulls have been proved to be weak in the interim rally we had last week, and that necessarily means some more pain on the downside should be there. Trading strategy wise, that means any move up is going to be challenged. And in that move up, it is not desirable to keep long positions at the end of the market hours. And thereby, people who would like to play long will have to be satisfied by playing it on an intra-day basis. Strategy also suggests that it would be in order to keep put positions overnight for tackling any untoward incident. So we are in the midst of, I would say, confusion. We are in the midst of erratic whipsaw trading, and thereby very, very tight stop losses should be used for trading in any stock. Mid caps, recovered during the last week rally, but now is into a very aggressive trading range. Why I say aggressive? Because the retracements from the resistance area are very fast and unnerving, whereas the pullbacks from the support areas are very feeble. So thereby it proves that even in mid caps, it is sell on rise. And that should be kept in mind for the purpose of trading during the next week. So while the mid cap selections would be as per my earlier understanding on various stocks, the point of entry becomes important in such times, and the style of trading becomes also equally important at these times. There could be stock specific movements during the week with some kind of logic built up on that particular day, which is not the same logic which will be followed the next day. I will be keeping an eye on Dr. Lal Path Lab to enter somewhere around 1100, which we did on Friday and could manage to sell it at 1144 on the intraday basis. But I think 1100, 1080 to 1100 is a good base to enter Lal Path Lab and can be tried every point of time. I would also dare to say that Quest Corporation, again, one of my seminar stocks, did well last week. Now consolidating near to 630-40 levels. A good entry point is sub 600 with target of 850 in the near future. Should it close at least for 2 days above 680. So mid-cap ideas and mid-cap stocks could be bought into while we are negotiating the final turmoil of the demonetization. My personal belief is all the ATMs having got calibrated, it is a question of note supply, at least the 500 denomination, because the difference between 100 as a denomination versus 2000 as a denomination is too huge to create a currency circulation. So 500 notes is the waiting point, and that should improve. As I understand that the printing part has been taken care of. Come to the rural area, at the ground level, there's no great issue, great problem. But maybe at the traders level in the rural belt, because the mandis work under the cash management system, we are having troubles and lot many ways things are getting sorted out in terms of hundis and personal papers, which is not a very nice way to run a mandi where essentially you are trading on commodity stocks or commodity items. But I am really waiting for the notes to get printed, and rest is not an issue. And then once the notes are into circulation, then we will also have to find out how the people's spending style is getting recreated, and whether they are getting adventurous to spend money because they are now not worried about the notes coming into their pocket, and a withdrawal facility from the bank has become easier. And that's the point. Whenever you find that the government is going to withdraw the limits now imposed, that is the time the government will be confident of the fact that enough notes and currencies are there in place. I think that will be during the next week, and I'll keep my fingers crossed to find out what exactly is happening. Now, you cannot really describe a market and talk about a market when you have so many events and so many things to watch. So we are not in a clear so-called buy or trading zone. We are just nibbling, we are just finding out what can be the best, what could be done for the day, and that's all about it. So I think I cannot extend the program substantially in terms of recommending stocks at this point of time, except the fact that the stocks referred in my magazine, the stocks referred in my seminar are good. I've given two examples and two stocks in this program. I think you can play with this till the market stabilizes. Once the market stabilizes, we'll have a clear idea. Once again, Nifty has to cross 8,200 to start a trend. The trend which got cleared got broken down. So one day bar reversal has happened on Friday, and whether that continuation should happen on Monday next is a questioning point. So just keep in mind that if you are trading below 8170 by closing, you are trading weak. If you are trading below 8050, you are trading weak. So these are two factors of 8050 and 8180, which should be kept in mind for the Nifty future trading. Accordingly, understand the market and accordingly take position on the stocks. I have a fear that Bank Nifty could break level of 18,200. If it does so, it will be a huge debacle in terms of banking stocks. So it's best to avoid banking names unless the names are too compulsive for the purpose of investing. I don't see that এই মুহূর্তে আমি সেরকম দেখতে পাচ্ছি না। যেটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি সেটা হচ্ছে কনফিউশন, যেটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি সেটা হচ্ছে হিউজ অ্যামাউন্ট অফ ভোলাটিলিটি, যেটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি ইরাটিক ট্রেডিং। সেখানে খুব একটা শেয়ার বাজার নিয়ে আলোচনা করাটা ঠিক হবে না when we are into something. But my sense is the next week we should be at some point of time seeing a very upward good rally. For what reasons, I don't know, but that should be in order. That should be in order. Maybe a 3-day rally or a 4-day rally types. That should be in order. So I'm waiting for that, and once that happens, I'm going to surely trade with calls of both Bank, Nifty and Nifty, and definitely take position in the Yes Bank closer to 1145 levels with stop of 1120, and I think there is a substantial congestion in 1185 to 1200 levels. So that should be kept in mind, that the congestion point should be sold both on an intraday basis or on a position basis. So having said so, I'm closing my show right now, and the questions and answers which normally come, please send the questions either through Facebook, or I'm scrolling down a number which you will find on the screen, and you can put up your questions in that number. The number will appear. So future questions you could possibly put it there. Thank you for watching the show.